my memory, it's like that's the moment where Isaac says something. That's not the moment where Isaac says something. Isaac doesn't say something. It actually just says the age of Isaac, and then it moves on. So, we go a little further. And we come to maybe one of the most famous parts of the Jacob and Esau story, besides when they actually come back together after all their drama, right? And Esau, he's a hunter. Jacob, he's a farmer. And Esau's been spending some time, I'm going to assume, out hunting. It says he's out in the open country. That's also how it describes, that's how Moses describes him as a hunter, that they lived off the open country. Okay? So he's coming back from the open country and he's hungry. Okay? And I don't know if it's one of those moments, I can remember being young and thinking to myself, I am going to starve to death. I am so hungry. I wasn't going to starve to death. I wasn't that hungry. But it could have been one of those moments, right? It could have been where he had spent too much time out there, maybe chasing a certain animal that he really thought he was going to get for the family, whatever. He had spent too much time and he'd come back and he had literally risked it all. However it was, Jacob says, I'll give you some soup. Maybe it was Esau's favorite soup. I don't know. But if you're going to have some of my soup, you have to give me your birthright. Why would Esau ever give away his birthright? Why would he ever do that? You know what the scriptures say about Isaac? The scriptures say that Isaac thrived and became so wealthy with his flocks and his herds and just all the vast wealth that he acquired through the blessing of God, that's why he was dealing with problems of the people around him. Everybody was jealous of the amount of good blessing and wealth that Isaac had. Why would Esau ever give away his birthright? But he does. For a bowl of soup. A life's inheritance for a bowl of soup. Now, that could say something about Jacob. That could say something about Esau. But this isn't about Jacob or Esau. This is about Isaac. Right? It was the faith of Isaac that made him announce this blessing for both of them at the end. Okay? So what happens? Isaac's getting ready to die. And he calls Esau in and he says, Esau, you know what I want you to do? I want you to go out into the open country. And I want you to give me one of those animals I love. And I want you to prepare it all the ways I love it. And I want you to bring it back to me to eat because I'm going to die soon. And Esau takes off. Now, Rebekah actually overhears this. And by the way, the scripture said before we ever got to Genesis 27 that Rebekah favored Jacob over Esau. But don't forget, Rebekah was also told by the Lord that the younger would be. The clear reality is Isaac did not call in Jacob. Isaac called in Esau. Okay? And what's he going to do? He's going to give him a blessing. And what's that blessing going to be based on? His birthright. That's what it's going to be based on. That's why he called Esau. Esau being the oldest, he was going to give the blessing based on the birthright. Now, I don't know if Rebekah and Isaac had many conversations. I don't know if Isaac was stubborn and just didn't want to hear it, or if Rebekah just kept it to herself. But Rebekah overheard this, and she goes to Jacob and she says, we're going to do this. Go get me some goats. We're going to prepare this just the way your dad likes. Go roll around in the field. Put some animal skin on your arms, right? And then you're going to go in and you're going to tell him that you are Esau. That's the way it goes. Go back and read it for yourself. That is the way it goes. So that's exactly what he does. He listens to his mom. He goes out. He gets the goats. He rolls around in the fields. He puts the animal skins over and he goes in to Isaac and he says, I'm Esau. You remember what Isaac said? Isaac said, come over here. And he touches him. And he says, you got the hands of Esau, but the voice of Jacob. And then he says, hey, you know what? Come over here and give me a kiss. And when Jacob comes over to give him a kiss, he actually leans up and gives him a smell. And he says, oh, you smell like the open country. You're my son Esau. And he blesses him. This is what he says. He says, may God give you of the dew of heaven and of the fatness of the earth and plenty of grain and wine. Let people serve you and nations bow down to you. Be Lord over your brothers. And may your mother's sons bow down to you. Cursed be everyone who curses you, and blessed be everyone who blesses you. Who was he blessing? He was blessing Esau. Or so he thought. So Esau comes back in from his hunt. He's prepared the food just like his dad's asked him to. He's got everything prepped and ready. And he goes in and he says, hey, Dad. And Isaac's like, who